Hello, my name is Alcy. This is a video that will be helpful if you are having any lower back pain or discomfort, specifically in the sacral space, so below the belly button and above the tailbone. This is going to be good for if you've been sitting a lot, this is where that pain comes up. Sometimes if you've lifted a lot, you'll get some spasms in that area. And these shapes, these Yin Yoga shapes, are just designed to help kind of calm and also neutralize any tension in that space. So what you will need will be, I'm using a chair, but you could also use like an ottoman or the edge of a sofa or a couch. I would recommend a yoga block or some books. I usually just use books if I don't have a yoga block. A nice pillow could be helpful, and then if you have a bolster, great. If you don't have a bolster, no big deal. A pillow will do just fine. Just so you know, I'm going to have my phone with me to time the postures, but it's on airplane mode, so it's not like I'm texting or anything. But here we go. So the first shape, this is great if if you've been sitting for a while, or if you're in the middle of your day and you're just kind of feeling a little achy, to essentially sit down right at the base of a chair and bring your legs up on it. As you can see, this chair is pretty much the same height as my femurs, which are pretty long, but for some of you, your femurs are a little shorter. And so you're basically just looking for something that is the height of the length of your femur bones. That way, you can take a moment to kind of find a very neutral, comfortable position in the back. For most people, that means that their lower back is kind of flat on the floor, but I ask you not to use any muscular effort to keep it where it is. Just kind of relax into your spine and into the muscles of your back. You can place your arms wherever you like. And we're going to be here for about 5 minutes. If you don't have a lot of time, this is the one pose I would recommend because it's very therapeutic, taking the weight and the pressure off your hips and your lower back. It kind of allows tension to move out, taking pressure off the back, and also allowing you a good 5 minutes or so of stillness. Is a really great way to kind of check in with your mind. So as you start to find stillness here, after any adjustments you might need, after you find some stillness, start to take some deeper, slower breaths. Inhaling through your nose and out your mouth, just to start. Notice the path and the journey of each breath. How the inhale asks you to notice where in your body you're feeling things. And your exhale might be asking you to soften around the spaces that feel a little heightened sensation. Eventually, when you're feeling a little more grounded, you might start to let your breath exit through your nose. Make a conscious choice to really relax all muscular effort as much as possible. Relax your legs, your arms, your belly, and your back. Soften any tension or effort in your jaw or your face. It might help to move your face around a little bit. Stretch the eyes, open the mouth, open wide. And then squeeze the eyes shut. Scrunch the nose, the lips, the cheeks up. And then make some elastic circles with your tongue and your cheeks and your lips. Wiggle your ears if you can. Lift and lower your eyebrows a few times. Take another breath with a lot of effort, a lot of movement in the face. And then use your exhale to relax. Take about 2 more minutes here just to drop in and be with the stillness. I'll also add, forgot to mention, that you could do this shape with your legs up a wall. So if you don't have a chair or a sofa or an ottoman at the right level or right height, you could also send your legs up the wall and just relax around that position. We're at about 4 minutes. It's totally up to you. If you're still feeling comfortable and relaxed, you can stay the last minute. If for any reason you want to bring your knees into your chest or roll to your side, if this shape no longer feels productive or maybe is starting to feel a little achy through the lower back, it might be a good sign that your limit with this shape is kind of ended for today, and that's okay. If you're able to stay, try taking a couple more slow breaths. And imagine the lines, the boundaries between your body and the connection, the surface supporting beneath you. Imagine those lines just getting a little blurrier, like you could melt into the floor. Now, if your legs are up a wall, you might start to slide the feet down the wall, bending the knees. If your legs are up on a couch or a chair, start to bring your thighs gently in towards your chest. And very intuitively begin to move a little bit here, whether it's a little rock in your hips from side to side, or you can make some very slow, deliberate circles, outlining the pelvis on the floor. You could even use your arms to help squeeze the thighs in towards your chest, paying attention to the feeling of inhaling and exhaling, using your legs perhaps to squeeze the breath out as you exhale. If you used a chair or ottoman, you might just start to push that away really slowly. If you're on a couch, perhaps just repositioning to one side. Go ahead and release your left leg down, away from you. Keeping your right thigh in towards your chest. You can squeeze it more towards the center, or maybe open it out more towards the shoulder, the rib cage. Maybe you wiggle a little bit back and forth. And then eventually, and I'm going to bring in my pillow for this, just take your knee over to the opposite side. And I like to kind of hook my leg over a pillow, but that's just me. I also like to bend my bottom leg, but that's also just me. So play around with how it feels to position yourself here. As right knee goes over to the left, go ahead and open your right shoulder, right arm, and maybe even your chin over to the right. Some people prefer this with both knees bent, maybe a pillow between the knees, maybe you don't need that. Some people even can cross the legs here, and that can feel really nice. Just feel into a sense of twisting and also softness through your lower back. So choose a position that feels good to you here. Keep in mind that gentle is often more effective than aggressive. There's sometimes this misassumption or misconception with stretching that it needs to hurt or you need to feel a lot in order to be doing it correctly. But in this practice, especially when we're dealing with the tissues of the lower back, think about the lower back being like so central in the body, right? Middle of the legs, middle of the body. It's important to be gentle and compassionate, have patience with yourself, and really move slowly in and out of these shapes. We'll do about 3 minutes here. Notice how the pathway of your breath has shifted since that first shape on your back. If this feels like a long time to be in stillness in a shape, then I definitely invite you to change your breath around. Right? If you notice your mind drifting off, use your breath as a way to stay invested in what's happening right now in your body. You can inhale through your nose and then sigh out your mouth, maybe make a sound. Or add some vibration in the form of a Taking one more breath here, sending the breath energy down into your hips, into your back, and then exhaling, just let it roll off of you. As you're ready, you can start to bring your legs back through center. Maybe just feet to the floor, lower back neutral for a moment. Maybe knees into the chest if that would feel better right now. Just give yourself a couple moments to register the ripple effects, the changes, and all the different kind of shifts that happen during and after we leave a shape. From here, let your right leg extend down your mat, keeping the left knee in. You could wrap your hands around your shin or maybe just hold on to your leg however you want to. Maybe the knee travels out and then in towards the center a few times. And as you're ready, just letting the left knee slide over to the right side of you, maybe bringing that pillow in or adjusting your leg position to get really comfortable here. As left knee goes to the right, let your left arm open to the left. This is sometimes a shape where, for me, I yawn a lot. So if you're starting to yawn, consider it a gift, right? That you're letting yourself lay down and find relaxation. when you finally settled into a space where you feel like you can be still, at least at first, do your best to relax every muscle of your body, softening through your hips and your thighs, up through your spine and your belly and your chest. It's possible that it doesn't feel so good having the head turning over left shoulder. It's totally fine to have your chin pointing straight up. Just make sure that wherever you are, your neck, your face, your jaw is relaxed. And you can really breathe into the fullness of your experience right here. And take just about one more minute here. If you find your mind kind of zooming off to other things, other engagements, other requirements that you have in your life, do your best just for the next 30 seconds or so to breathe in, notice the body rise, and as you breathe out, notice your body sink back down towards the earth below. Taking one more breath, letting your exhale just float away from you like you were pouring water over yourself. Just let it out. And as you're ready, you can come back through center. At this point, we've had quite a bit of time on our back, so if you're feeling the need to move around a little bit, that's fine. Maybe you bring your knees in towards your chest or kick your heels up towards the ceiling. Maybe stillness feels best here. We're going to do one more shape on the back before we move up to a seat. So this is kind of the last yin posture in this sequence. And it's really therapeutic for the back as well as the hips. If your lower back pain does come from lots of sitting or just kind of being in the same position all day, this pose can be very therapeutic. So starting with feet on the floor, maybe underneath the knees, just about. You're going to use your block, bolster, or books here. Press into your feet, lift your hips up just enough to slide your props right underneath your lower back. So underneath the pelvis, more or less. As you can see, I'm not putting the blocks underneath my lower back. I'm putting them more underneath my glutes. So I really feel like my pelvis is supported by the blocks or by the books. And you could use a bolster here too if you have one. Generally just something that's a little bit more supportive and hard. If you're using a really soft pillow, it's harder to get the benefit of this. So I'm going to start the timer now because this pose is kind of a process. I like to kind of pause here for a little bit and just see what it feels like to relax through the belly. Maybe the knees draw together, maybe not. Take a couple intentional breaths to really soften across your hips and your pelvis. You might even bring your hands to the fronts of your hips and just kind of be with this feeling of dropping in and surrendering effort. you're already feeling something through the fronts of your hips and your belly, maybe it's a stretch or just, a release that you don't usually get, you can stay right here. This is probably enough for you if you're already feeling some sense of well-being here. If you're looking for a slightly deeper sensation and just also a deeper kind of bend in the back, you can start to slide your legs forward. They don't need to go all the way straight. You might end up about here, and the sensation is different. But just looking for a sense of space across the fronts of your hips. This is going to put a little curve in the back, which, if you're sitting a lot, is really healthy to bring in. It's really kind of massaging the tissue in your discs in a different way. So this is a very therapeutic shape if you're typically rounded forward or very upright. This can be very good for your back. So we're about 2 minutes in now. We'll do about 2 minutes more. I want you to just consider that you can do anything here, right? You can bring your arms overhead or out to the sides. You can keep your hands connected to your hips if that feels best. But let the sensation really lead your decisions here. So even though there's 2 more minutes left, you might choose to leave a little early, or maybe change the position of your legs at some point. Just trust those instincts in the body and do your best to honor what comes up in the process. Taking 3 or so more breaths here. I'll also add, some people can stay in this pose a long time. So if this feels still really good for you and you want to stay longer, just pause the video and stay until you're ready to come out, and then come back, hit play, and we'll finish out together. If you've walked your legs down away from you, one leg at a time, just start to return your feet to the floor. And then pause here before you remove the props, especially if your legs were extended. Take a couple breaths, just let the back kind of readjust. You'll find that there's probably a lot of sensation from legs extended to feet on the floor if you chose to move. Give your body a chance to kind of catch up and feel where it's at. Eventually start to push into your feet, strengthening through the legs. Lift your belly up towards the sky, just enough to slide the props out from under you. Really slowly lower the hips back down. And we'll take just a minute here. Again, I want you to really trust your instincts. For me, in this moment, I'm just bringing my feet a little wider, letting the knees touch. You might feel something else. You might want to extend your legs out long or pull your knees into your chest and rock a bit. It's possible that you're kind of feeling over lying on your back, so if you're feeling that urge to get off your spine, you might even just roll to your side. This is also considered a neutral position. If you haven't already rolled over to your side, go ahead and do so. Giving yourself a couple moments here to be still or maybe move a little bit if it feels good. And then eventually, using whichever arm is on top, push yourself up enough until that bottom arm can slide in. We're just going to come into a very kind of simple seat. And I'll add here, some people it feels just fine to sit upright. For others, it can be so helpful to bring a little pillow or a blanket underneath your seat. And notice how I'm not just sitting right on top of it. I'm kind of sitting more towards the edge so that my pelvis is able to tilt forward. This is very important so that the back can relax and the belly can stay soft. And if this isn't comfortable for you to sit, you're welcome to adjust your legs in whichever way. We'll just bring the hands to the knees or thighs. And then a very kind of simple move here to kind of get the energy flowing and get the blood and the internal energy of the body kind of communicating from the base of the spine to the crown of the head. Start by tilting your pubic bone down. Press your heart forward. Draw the shoulder blades together and maybe consider looking up. And then the other move we're going to do is tailbone down, heart into the shoulder blades. Crown of the head just softening down and forward. And we'll do that with breath. So as you inhale, pubic bone tilts down, belly forward, heart open, chest up. And as you breathe out, you might even push into your knees a little bit. Dome the heart into your shoulder blades like you were turning yourself into a parachute. Drop your head towards your chest. And just do that a few times, really slowly. With your breath inflating forward on the inhale, exhaling back, and just finding your own rhythm. Eventually coming back up to neutral. Maybe you take your arms up, forward, or out to the sides as you breathe in. On your exhale, draw your thumbs down towards your heart, bow your chin towards your chest, and just thank yourself for taking this time. Taking this time to care for yourself and notice yourself and give back to yourself. From my heart to yours, namaste. Thank you so much. If you have any requests or questions or other parts of the body that you're interested in kind of opening up or exploring, just let me know in the comments, and I hope you have a great day. Bye.